Good morning. Our fascinating journey through the human body begins with anatomy and physiology. These are two branches of science provide foundation for understanding the body's parts and function. Anatomy. We will define anatomy. Ana means up, while tomy means the process of cutting. In short, anatomy is the process of cutting up. So we can define now anatomy by the science of body structures and relationships among them. It was first studied by dissection, the careful cutting apart of body structures to study the relationship. Physiology. Whereas anatomy deals with the structures of the body, anatomy is the science of body functions, how the parts work.
The cardiovascular system. Your heart works as a pump that pushes blood through the organs, tissues, and cells of your body. Blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to every cell and removes the carbon dioxide and waste products made by those cells. There are three major components of cardiovascular system: the heart, blood vessels, and the blood. Heart. Heart is a hollow muscular organ made of strong cardiac muscles. Heart can push the blood through the circulatory system with great force. Heart is the major force that causes circulation of blood throughout human body. Blood vessels. Blood flows in restricted pathways called blood vessels. The blood vessels are pathways of blood flow in human body. There are three main types of blood vessels: arteries, capillaries, and veins. The importance of cardiovascular system. Perfectly functioning cardiovascular system is so important for human body that if it stops for a minute, rapid death will occur. If the flow of the blood stops, life will stop. Heart is the main organ of cardiovascular system, and it is responsible for distributing blood all over human body.
The next organ system is the integumentary system. What's integumentary system? Integumentary system consists of the largest organ in the body, the skin. This extraordinary organ system protects the internal structures of the body from damage, prevents dehydration, stores fat, and produces vitamins and hormones. It also helps to maintain homeostasis within the body by assisting in the regulation of body temperature and water balance. The integumentary system is the body's first line of defense against bacteria, viruses, and other microbes. Integumentary system also helps to provide protection from harmful ultraviolet rays or radiation. The skin is a sensory organ in that it has receptors for detecting heat and cold, touch, pressure, and pain. Components of skin includes hair, nails, sweat glands, oil glands, blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves, and muscles. Concerning integumentary system anatomy, the skin is composed of a layer of epithelial tissue, epidermis,
Lymphatic system is a part of circulatory system comprising a network of conduits called lymphatic vessels that carry a clear fluid called lymph. And it came from the Latin word lympha, means water goddess. The function of the lymphatic systems are: it is responsible for the removal of intestinal fluids from tissue. It transports white blood cells to the lymph nodes into bones. The lymph transport antigen-presenting cells such as dendritic cells to the lymph nodes, where an immune response called stimuli. Lymphoid tissue. Lymphoid tissue is associated with the lymphatic system. It is concerned with immune functions in defending the body against infection and spread of tumors. Central or primary lymphoid organs generate lymphocytes from immature progenitor cells. Secondary lymphoid organs. Secondary or peripheral lymphoid organs maintain mature naive lymphocytes and maintain an adaptive immune response. The peripheral lymphoid organs are the sites of lymphatic activation by antigen. Lymph nodes. A lymph node is an organization collection of lymphoid tissue through which the lymph passes on its way to return to the blood. Lymph nodes are located at interval along lymphatic system. Several afferent lymph vessels bring in the lymph which percolates through the substance of lymph nodes and it drains out by an effect lymph vessels. That's the end. Hope you learned something.
The human muscular system. The human muscular system, there are about more than 600 muscles in the human body, which are attached to the bone and connected to the joints to be able to move function. The four important functions of the muscles are: it produces movement, maintain posture, stabilize joints, and generate heat. The first one is to produce movement. This function is the activity of skeletal muscle, the one responsible for all types of locomotion: the walking, running, swimming, and manipulation. In maintained posture, while sitting, our skeletal muscle contract in continuous manner, while the stabilized joints, the skeletal muscles pull the bone to cause movement. In generate heat, as ATP is used to power muscle contraction, nearly the 3/4 of this energy escapes as heat. The heat is vital in maintaining normal body temperature. There are three types of muscles: the skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and the cardiac muscles. The skeletal muscles attaches to and moves all bones of the body, while the smooth muscles located in the wall of internal system. These are the digestive system and our internal organ. And the last one is the cardiac muscles. This is exclusively in the heart. This is involuntary, have only a single centrally located nuclei and exhibit branching. But before we end our discussion, I would have to share you one trivia. This trivia is all about the muscles. How many muscles does in our body? Okay, we have 640 muscles found in our body. And okay, that's all my reports. It's all about the muscular system.
Hi, this is Paul Yumang from BS Ed MAPEH Majors 2. And what I'm about to say is, or going to talk about, is nervous system. The nervous system is a complex network of nerves and cells that carry messages to and from the brain and spinal cord to various parts of the bodies. And the nervous system includes both central nervous system or CNS and peripheral nervous system, which is PNS. The central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system is made up of somatic and automatic nervous system. And the central nervous system is divided into two major parts, which is the brain, the spinal cord. The brain lies within the skull and is shaped like a mushroom. The brain consists of four principal parts: the brainstem, cerebrum, and diencephalon. Other trivias for brain: the brain weighs approximately 1.8 3 to 1.4 kilograms. It has nerve cells called neurons and supporting cells called glia. And the brainstem is also known as the medulla oblongata, and it is located between the pons and the spinal cord and is only about an inch long. The cerebrum forms bulk of the brain and is supported on the brainstem. The cerebrum is divided into two hemispheres. Each hemisphere controls the activities of the side of the body opposite the hemisphere. This is the right hemisphere, which controls the left side of the body, and this is the left hemisphere, which controls the right side. And this is called the contralateral effect. And we have four lobes separating the skull, which is the frontal lobe or the brain frontal lobe, occipital lobe, the temporal lobe, and parietal lobe. The frontal lobe actually is the main reason why some people could not really decide on things or not really mature in decision making because their frontal lobe is not yet fully developed. It will only be developed up to age 20 or 21 or 22 for regular people. And yeah, frontal lobe are the responsible for motor areas, or it regulates the voluntary movement. Parietal lobes are the general sensory areas, which receives impulses from the skin and interpret the cutaneous sensations. Next is the temporal lobes, which within it are olfactory areas and also auditory areas. Occipital lobes within it are the visual areas, which receives impulses traveling along the optic nerves. So that's why when you are hit behind the head or on a corner or a stone, your vision becomes blurry or sometimes will forget something. Now, cerebellum is located behind and below the cerebrum. The diencephalon is also known as the forebrainstem. It includes the thalamus and hypothalamus. The thalamus is where the sensory and other impulses go and coalesce. And hypothalamus is a smaller part of the diencephalon. Now we're going to talk about the spinal cord. The spinal cord is a long tube-like structure which extends from the brain and is composed of a series of 31 segments. The pair of spinal nerves come out of each segment. The region of the spinal cord from which a pair of spinal nerves originates is called the spinal segment. Yeah, the spinal cord is about 43 centimeters long in adult women and 45 centimeters long in adult men and weighs about 35 to 40 grams. It lies within the cerebral column, the collection of bones or the backbone. And neurons naman is the basic unit in the nervous system. It is a specialized conductor cell that receives and transmits electrochemical nerve impulses. A typical neuron has a cell body and has long arms that conduct impulses from one part to another part of the body. Now, there are three different parts of a neuron. The cell body, dendrites, and the axon. And the cell body of a neuron is like any other cell with a nucleus or a control center. Dendrites has several highly branched thick extensions that appear like cables and are called dendrites. And axon is a long, thin process that carries impulses away from the cell to the body, another neuron, or another tissue. There is usually one axon per neuron. Yan. The peripheral nervous system naman, which is the counterpart of central nervous system, made up of two parts. First is the somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system consists of peripheral nerve fibers that pick up sensory information or sensations from the peripheral or distant organs and carry them to the central nervous system. Yun. Autonomic nervous system naman has three parts: sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, and enteric nervous system. Now, this nervous system controls the nerves of the inner organs of the body on which humans have no conscious control. So, kapag mga impulses naman na biglang magalaw, hindi natin control yun, those are because of the autonomic nervous system. Tapos, yan. Neurons in the peripheral nervous system are the smallest worker in the nervous system is the neuron. For each of the chain of impulses, there is one preganglionic neuron or one before the cell body or ganglion. That is like a central controlling body for numerous neurons going out peripherally. Yan. Actually, those are the basic parts of the nervous system, and hope you learned something.